Hi everyone, I'm just back from seeing the 4K restoration of Satoshi Kon's anime masterpiece Perfect Blue from 1997 about a pop idol turned actress who's being stalked by an obsessive fan. What's incredible about this film is that it seems to see the next 30 years. It's just as though it could be made now. It's about the internet and the way it opens up a space for obsessive parasocial relationships. It's about misogyny and violence in the entertainment industry, and it's about the way in which sitting down at a computer opens up a strange kind of mirror world in which you seem to stare back at a version of yourself, something I'll probably feel when I look back at this video. The central character is so contemporary because she comes to experience the fact that she's famous online as a kind of splitting in her psyche. She starts seeing images of herself in windows like they're mirrors, and then the images start talking to her. The whole film concerns her effort to sort of transition from being a pop star to being a film actress, but as she gets sucked into this very, very successful and increasingly successful thriller series that she's involved in, they start writing more and more violent, misogynistic scripts for her until she's kind of violated in front of all these men in this appalling central scene, which is actually more upsetting than any of the other kind of more gory thriller horror. The psychological and physical horror of watching that is at the core of the film. It feels as though Satoshi Kon looked at the internet and said, what is this going to be? Where could this go? And had a kind of psychic moment where he saw, first of all, that it would walk in lockstep with sexual violence and pornography, that the spread of the internet would be the spread of those things as well, but also where he saw that we would experience it as almost psychotic derangement in our lives. The film has the limits of that vision as well. How can you tell the difference between a film which depicts a kind of misogynistic destruction of a woman and a film which collaborates with it or is complicit with it? I would say that one way that could happen would be if the film opened up hinterlands of psychology and feeling inside this character and made you really feel the fullness of the person before they are reduced to a violated symbol. The problem is this film doesn't do that, and one of the reasons it doesn't do that is it sticks so rigidly to its central perception that she's divided. So the only version of psychology we really get for her is that she is torn between these two poles, actress and singer, little girl and filthy woman, as is repeatedly said to her by her inner self that's judging her. I felt like that was too limited a picture of her psychology, and it was interesting. Fans of this film apparently always point out that he cut it down from a series length to a film length and cut 100 scenes, and that's part of his brilliance. I personally could feel that there was a bigger picture that had been crammed in here, and so every single scene mechanically moved the plot forward. Although, of course, it was beautifully done, haunting, terrifying, it was still visible that you were constantly developing the story, and as a result, I really lacked a deeper relationship with the character. Some of that is supplied by the incredible animation, which has a naturalism and a visceral, embodied quality that you don't see in perhaps more famous animators like Ghibli, who isn't interested in doing that. He's not trying to present a picture of reality that's quite as gritty as this. But nonetheless, it was great to see the moments where her eyes took on this incredible glowing expressiveness that went way beyond just the sort of wet-eyed sadness of a Ghibli heroine that you do sometimes see. It was incredibly gritty and real and persuasive on the level of image, and I think that made up for some of the shortcomings of the structure. But I do think there are shortcomings in the structure, and I think that we would make this film differently now. Still a very important film, an extraordinary piece of anime, and very well worth seeing if you have the stomach for it in the cinema.